Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. All right, so I just heard I left when things got hard. And there's like an escape hatch energy that's coming through with this one. And I know we're not too far into the reading yet, but if that does resonate with your situation, just a heads up here, because I feel like this reading might be triggering for you, because I can see here that this person that's coming through to me, I can see that they left at the exact wrong time, in the exact wrong way, to just leave you feeling really broken and shattered, or just to leave you with the maximum amount of damage that you could have been left with in this situation. And take that however it resonates, because I think for some of you this is like on multiple fronts. So like financially, you could have been on the hook for something. I just heard like out of pocket, you potentially had to pay for something here, like out of pocket. It could be physically that you were like ill or in need of some kind of physical assistance, or even just, maybe you were really hungry, you just worked a double shift or something. And then you got like blindsided with something. But I think at the most, it's this like emotional damage. You were just left with the maximum amount of emotional damage that you possibly could have been left with in this situation, because of this person's like refusal to have a certain conversation either at all, or to have it in the way that it needed to be had. And that's actually a good point I want to bring up, because like when I'm saying that somebody left like in the exact wrong time, when there's like they like escaped, there's this like fleeing energy, I am not talking about somebody who left a situation that somehow involves scorpionic energy. So something where there was secrets, or like some kind of third party situation, or where they were being abused or traumatized, because I think something like that may well have preceded this kind of ground zero that I'm picking up on here. This ground zero feels like a conversation. So it could be that this conversation space needed to occur because something like that had already occurred. I just heard whether you know it or not, because especially if this is a woman that had to like flee a situation and she's dealing with a man, I mean, you know that you're not supposed to directly confront a man, especially a man you don't know very well, or if you're like in a situation where you're not in friendly territory, you don't know the people, you do not have a direct confrontation, because he's liable to harm you in some way. And so I'm kind of getting that this if this is a woman here that like left the scene, she may well be very good at saying, oh, I forgot I have to pick up my dry cleaning. What do you know? I got to get out of there. The other kind of situation that I'm getting is this may well could have been a third party situation. It needed to be talked about. This woman already knew this was going on, or like suspected, but I feel like she may have been in a room with these two, like made to be in close quarters with these two. And there hadn't been a conversation about like, I know. So she probably had to like leave this situation. It's something here like that. So I'm not talking about the actual fleeing, because that feels like it needed to happen. Somebody here needed to get themselves physically and emotionally safe. And that's like away. But this feels like the conversation that should have happened, I think, after and like in remedy to this. And this escape hatch energy, where it feels like emotional, but also physical, like relative to this conversation, where I think the person in the wrong here, they knew that they needed to like lead the way. They needed to give up the ghost here. They needed to talk about something. But there was this like cutoff, or this checkout emotionally and or physically. But I think for a lot of you, it's both. So if this was like an emotional, maybe for some of these people, they just refused to have the conversation just at all. For some of you though, I think this conversation was like already in progress, or it was like warming up to where you were going to talk about the thing you both know you need to talk about, like the meat of this, but then this person like, again, pulled that like escape hatch. So if they pulled it emotionally, this probably looks like you having the most frustrating conversation of your entire life, because this person's refusing to like actually dip into the emotions or give you real answers, or they kind of need to start this because they're the one with the secret, because that's kind of what I'm getting. I think this is for you, the way this is coming through, where I'm getting this like broken energy, and it could be that you are already just broken and emotionally shattered. I don't know exactly what this situation was. But the image that I'm getting for that is like, I'm seeing a teacup, like china, like on a table, but I'm seeing it just get like knocked over and then just shatter. And that's telling me like tea is kind of like calming, So I think you were trying to have like a calm conversation, or to make sure that you were just like in a calm space, like holding yourself in a calm demeanor. Also, there's something kind of civilized about tea, isn't there? So you wanted to maybe have this like civilized, mature kind of, conversation, but also I'm getting like this spilling the tea. Also, there's like tea that needs to be spilled, like secrets need to kind of come out. But then I'm seeing that teacup just get like shattered. And then I'm just hearing, and all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. And that's where I feel like you were left. That's the kind of image I get for this word like broken, because it does feel like something delicate was maybe broken here, like the teacup. But it also feels like you're trying to piece the china back together, and you can't, because you need this conversation with this person in order to, it feels like at the very least, understand their emotions. Like what was going on for this person emotionally? Where do they stand emotionally? You need for them to care about you emotionally, and to say that they acknowledge and they honor and they understand that what they did was barbaric. It was like a bull in a china shop, kind of energy, and that it was inappropriate, and that they need to acknowledge your emotions. And that kind of deeper exchange, I don't think happened here. And that's when this person like escaped. They could have physically actually left as well, where they were like, oh, well, I'm just not gonna, they could have even blamed you like, oh, well, you're just hopeless, like, gaslighting, because, and they wanted to escape the depth here. And I do think it's because this person is feeling guilty. Now, they're also coming through to tell me a couple of things, and I just want you to know, like this, I'm not taking this person's side at all. I think there was a way that you presented yourself in this like conversation, or just held yourself, is what I'm getting, like after the event. Because maybe this person was like trying to approach you in conversation, or wondering, they were very confused about where your relationship stood, and they were confused because of like some kind of argument energy. So it could be because this person knows that they did something where any other person would have been screaming at them, like they know that they deserve to get like torn a new one here, and they're confused as to why that's not happening. And so I think maybe they thought that you didn't care very much, and I think that actually maybe caused this person a panic, and so they didn't want to like talk about their emotions. But I don't really think that's an excuse here, because I can just tell the kind of person that you are, where again, with the original situation here, you may have had to leave a situation where it's like you were in the room with like people that are having a third party situation. They're keeping it a secret from you, and completely, you guys know how I feel about third party situations. I'm not going to go into it, but like, how wrong that is. And so you like left, you needed to detach so that you could clear your mind. Because that's kind of what I'm getting, is you holding yourself in this very mature kind of an energy, where at the very least, because for some of you, it's like you wanted to give this person a chance to explain. And I think for some of you as well, even if you cried about this, or like you were devastated about this in some way, I think you gathered yourself together, and I think it's like you needed this conversation. You needed the opportunity to get to ask questions. Like, why did you do what you did? I think there's a big question mark over who this person really is. It's like, who are you? To like have done this, or to, and I think for a lot of you, this does involve a third party, whether this is like a schmegdual energy. And this third party, okay, and this person, for some of you, this is the person that you're trying to have a conversation with, because you may have known this person, this like third party in some way. This is somebody that wanted to get in on a situation. This third party is a real piece of shit, okay, male or female. And I'm not just saying that because we're alone here talking about this privately on the internet. I genuinely mean that. And this third party they might be feeling broken about the situation, because I think that they can tell this other person has like feelings for you. They are pissed about that. This third party wants the smoke. And I think you might already know that, but they're also angry at me. They feel broken and shattered at being called a piece of shit. I don't know that someone has called this person a piece of shit before, and it's really to their detriment, actually. And I think that Spirit's been trying to get this person's attention, that they're kind of stuck. And I feel like this is on a soul level. They're like stuck in place in like this functioning dysfunction, and they just get like very defensive when they're called out about their bad behavior. But they have done something here. Yeah, they've really done something here. But I don't really want to focus on this third party. For some of you, I just want to focus on like whoever's coming through here. For some of you, I think it is this third party, because this could be like a friend, or a sibling or something that tried to get in on, or did get in on your relationship here. And you want to talk to this person too, but there's like this other person that or you thought isn't the kind of person to do this. I think you're really surprised or like, again, just very broken. But there was a way that you held yourself, because I think you were giving this person a chance, a moment to apologize, possibly. You thought that this person would apologize, and you were keeping yourself like calm. And I think that's something that this person doesn't understand. I think that you were not really in a fighting mood. I don't think that you were really in an argumentative space as much as you were hurt, as much as you were crying yourself to sleep at night, as much as you needed tenderness and a confession of, as much as you needed answers. I think this person expected to be yelled at, and I think they deserve to be yelled at. And that's also what doesn't sit right with me in this situation, because it's one thing to do this to anyone. But I can just see you're so tenderhearted. I'm not saying that you were never mad about this. I'm not saying that you didn't have an argument here. They might have been confused why you were in an argument, but it's because you already knew something here. So maybe they didn't know whether they were going to confess. So maybe they didn't know, like, well, should I confess? Because I don't know if we are in an argument or whatever. But again, that's very strategic in a good way and protective, self-protective for you to hold yourself in that energy, because it's revealing this person's character. I don't know how you apologize for your character being what this person seems to be. So I think this person does, though, want to come back and apologize. They want to say that in this escape energy, they want to say that, look, I had to let this go so that I could clear my mind. But I think that's part of this person leaving in the way that was like the most detrimental here, because whatever they escaped to, I just heard Hotel California in my mind. So there's like maybe this California energy of like, maybe they went to chase their dreams, or like they ran off to Hollywood because they were going to make it big. You know, it could be something like that. But I'm kind of getting, for some, they could have gone on vacation, or they could have just continued to do superficial fun stuff because they just didn't want to think about the devastation that they had just levied at you. And so they just left. But with the Hotel California thing, I'm getting that line where it's like, you can check out, but you can never leave. So I think there's an irony here where, like, in trying to escape this situation and they wanted to keep something superficial or just fun, they got themselves into some kind of metaphorical hotel where you can check out. And I feel like this is mentally checking out, because I think this person, that's all they wanted was to check out. You can check out, but you can never leave. There's something like very karmic here. And now I think this person is like feeling very broken themselves here about this situation. And I think now they're also feeling confused because there is some kind of like karmic lesson being taught here where for this person to get I just heard confession, or for them to get the straight up answers that they want, because they don't know where you stand emotionally, because you hold yourself in this very like mature kind of calm energy. In order for that to have happened, they needed to have this hard conversation. So there's like a paradox here. There's an irony of having the hard conversation. And for some of you, whatever this conversation was, and I think part of the reason why they avoided it is because they do have emotions for you. Okay. They do have regardless of how this person acted, because I feel like it was bad. Real bad. They do have emotions, and they know that it could end your relationship. And I think it did end your relationship because they just refused. So this is like maybe a power move, because they knew that they did something so bad that you should be screaming at them and you should be ending their relationship, but that's you being in your power. They couldn't even handle that. So this person, it's a power move. That's what I'm seeing. They pulled this power move, to try and leave, but you would have been confused again about this situation and just kind of left. I'm seeing you like in the middle of the pieces of this teacup, just like trying to put this back together. I feel like you're very confused about this person. You're very confused about who they are, about how they feel about you and about this other situation and why they behaved in the way that they did. And this person, they want to say that they're sorry, because I'm hearing the word gulf. It feels like an omission, like this person omitted a lot. There's maybe some distance here between you, because with the California energy that I was getting, but also now I'm hearing a gulf, like there's a gulf between you, and there might literally be a gulf between you. But gulf to me, it's like water, not to me, to everyone. There's water there. It's like emotions. And this person wants to build a bridge over the gulf in order to get back to you, but they don't know how to do that. And I think this person, because they want to say like, look, I had to run away because I had to clear my mind. But then I feel like this person like never cleared it up. So Spirit is saying, no, this person's confused about that. They didn't act when they should have. And it's because they felt guilty about some kind of lover situation. And this to me feels like a hidden lover situation. Or, they feel guilty about the damage. I think this person wants to have equal give and take, but they're in a rotten position because I feel like they didn't do something that they did some, this person is just feeling very self-defensive about a tower moment that I feel like they caused. And then they caused another one here, this maximum damage. And you know what's crazy is I don't think this person understands that about their actions, that I don't think they've stopped to really think about the way that they left things and how, no, actually if they thought about it, they would be like, that was literally the worst possible way that I could have left things. But I think this person just didn't want like a secret to come out, or they thought that revealing some kind of secret, or just maybe the secret is their emotions, I don't know, but they thought that having this conversation, having this conversation was going to cause like a tower moment. And maybe they felt like they had invested energy here into this as well. I don't know. Or that they would be made to be responsible. And for some of you, especially if this was like a marriage, they feel like if they owned up to something that possibly you would have more money, like you would walk away with more money or something if they like confessed. I don't know. But there's emotions here for you. Let me just clarify about that. Well, okay. 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 They wanted a passionate new beginning with you. And I think it feels kind of like, to be honest, like lusty. That's their maybe fantasy, or that's like their wish fulfillment. But you were defensive. And there's something weird going on with this. I am hearing K2. K2 is like a very fiery energy. And with this Ace of Wands, it's this like fiery energy, but it's Scorpio that's here. So it's like taking a match and like throwing it into deep water. It just doesn't hold up at all. So it's like this person they have to deal with the water energy. Yeah, King of Rods, Emperor. This person's really controlling. Yeah. Weirdly, there is a sense of this person. Okay, so this person's like in some kind of hanged man energy. And there's people that kind of notice this, that are also confused about the truth, but it feels like third parties, other people that are around. But it also could be friends. I don't know. And they're maybe also wondering like what's gone on here in this situation. Yeah. They know that there was a painful ending. They know that there was some kind of decision. So it gave me, yeah. And then we've got the 10 of Pentacles here. So there even could be people here where they're like, I thought those people were going to end up together, or I thought that they were, and then, but this, like they understand something here is like, yeah, there's certain people here that get that there's like emotional secrets. Possibly there's people here who know about this secret as well. Okay, yeah, that's another tower energy came through. Yeah, okay, so for some of you, there's potentially, and I always get this in my readings, potentially there's just, you've been betrayed by multiple people. This to me, like I would classify this as a spiritual attack. Like at the very least, something is like, this third party, like I told you, is a real piece of shit. So this person I think maybe meant to attack, meant to harm. But beyond that, there very well could be just a negative energy that's like working through this person and like their weakness to like attack you, because all of this, it's like at the exact wrong time in the exact wrong way. But, and it involves multiple people that possibly because of their collusion or whatever, like also now are, feeling this way towards you, because I think that they potentially have seen you like temper out on your own. And kind of the paces of this reading could apply then. Like they were confused because if you knew about their involvement, and some of you kind of know, that I think that there could be friends involved, that there's people that maybe know about the situation, that out of their like, loyalty might be the wrong word to you, but just a genuine empathy, a concern, or a care for you should have maybe also told you or given you a heads up here about some kind of situation. Because it also feels like the way this situation was handled in lieu of having a conversation was also the maximum possible damage. So this person like maybe escaped to another relationship that maybe other people know about. And these other people want to tell you about this. But you kind of seem like you've tempered out or something, that I don't know. People are like kind of confused here, and they're confused because you're just, I feel like, very mature, very dignified. And I don't think you should have been in this situation to begin with. It seems like there's potentially multiple people who should have stopped this or told you about this. So I think there's people that have just been waiting for you to yell at them. And I just really don't think you're interested in doing that. Even if you have been angry here, I feel like you're not one to just inflict wound upon other people. I think you've given people a chance to come clean. I think you've given people a chance to apologize. I think you've actually handled this with as much grace and tact as you possibly could have, and with a lot of compassion for people's human experience and how hard it must be for people to behave in such a manner and then have to speak out loud to another human being that that's who and what they are and that's what they did. I think you understand that that's difficult, but you're also just coming through as an extremely good person. And if there is a person alive who deserved some support here or a conversation, you're like kind of coming through to me as like not a scary person. I think people think that you would yell at them because they know whatever went on here was that bad. But I'm seeing you crying. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the damage. I'm seeing the hurt. I think that if somebody came to you and told you the truth, and if it was a safe space, which I don't know that certain people are, I think they would just see you cry. I think they would just see, anxiety. I think they would see like a high strung energy. I'm hearing like, I can't trust people. I don't know who to trust. Like, I just saw somebody throwing up over a toilet. Like, that's what they would have seen. And now though, I think that, now you're coming through as the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles. And this Empress that I'm looking at has a spike through her heart. So you have been wounded, but you've still managed to grow and to be lovely to people. And that confuses people. These people are confused by your good nature, really. And there's a quote from Emma by Jane Austen that I love, where Mrs. Weston says to Emma, she says, "Do not attempt with your good nature to understand a bad one." And I feel like you've possibly been confused here, because there is definitely somebody here with a very bad nature, and someone involved with them. And that person's a question mark to me. I think they're a question mark to you. And I don't think they told you who they are. And then potentially there's people holding a secret in place for this person or for these two people. And it's just really thrown their character into doubt, all of them. And they feel armored. And weirdly, you feel vulnerable. I don't know. For some of you, there is a sense of you having found your people. Some of you, like, maybe this is a support group, or maybe you, like, because you're coming through like vulnerable and beautiful and strong in your vulnerability in some kind of way. Whereas these people they're coming through as like armored and, like one foot in front of the other. But I think they're wanting to say sorry. Spirit saying no, in no uncertain terms, this person or these people, because I feel like it's kind of maybe the same blueprint for multiple people involved in a situation where you were just hurt. I just heard this song. It's, I'm not saying I'm black. I'm not saying I'm battered and bruised, but I might as well be with the words you use. It's like but I'm also hearing that Taylor Swift song where it's like, it's something like, do you want to pretend like you never beat my spirit black and blue? Like, I can't do that, I feel like that song might be relevant. I can't think of it for the life of me, but it's a Taylor Swift song. Never beat my spirit black and blue. But yeah, Spirit is saying they missed their opportunity. They did not act when they should have. For some, they needed to take some kind of action here to keep you safe or to keep you protected, and they didn't. And they feel guilty about that because, and that actually, they feel guilty because of reciprocity. You would have done it for them. And maybe you did do it for them. Maybe you alerted them. they did not return that favor, and there's damage caused here. So for some, they needed to act and they didn't. But they missed their opportunity here. They missed their opportunity to say something genuine or to affect the situation in any kind of meaningful way where you didn't have to take the brunt of it. Because it feels to me, you guys know, if you've listened to my channel, I get a little heated. I get a little protective. Okay. Because I do not like to see, especially, I can tell you're a really good person. And some of you need to hear that. Okay. You are just an exceptionally good person. I don't like to watch people like that get their spirit beat black and blue. I'm not the type of person that's going to sit there and act like that's okay. And some of you, I think, need to hear something like that. But this, they didn't do anything that could have prevented that or lessened it in any way, or even triaged with you after the fact. I don't think any of that occurred with this person or for certain people here. This is at least true for multiple people. Maybe some of these people in this situation did, but this to me looks like it ran through as intense as it could have. So you're strong and you are honorable. And I feel like these people want to say sorry. It's coming through as the Page of Cups, which is like kind of laughably a small energy, like compared to the rest of this. Not that it's not nice, that they want to say they're sorry and everything. It's just kind of a day late and a dollar short, I feel like, but, not to you. I think it's worth way more than a day and way more than $1 what went on here. But anyways, I think I'm going to leave that there. If that resonates with you, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys.